And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
For decades, we looked at them and saw the blueprint. Will and Jada, the power couple, the royalty of Black Hollywood. They sold us a perfectly curated image of love, wisdom, and family unity. We bought the box office hits, we watched the red table talks, and we believed the brand. But what if I told you that behind the red carpets and the billion-dollar smiles, there wasn't just dysfunction. There was a mafia-style operation run on fear, intimidation, and silence. We aren't talking about entanglements anymore. We aren't talking about messy breakups or open marriage rumors. We are talking about something far darker. We are talking about death threats. We are talking about a goon squad, allegedly cornering a man in a hotel lobby. We are talking about a $3 million lawsuit that has just landed like a meteorite in the Los Angeles Superior Court. The man pulling the trigger on this legal war isn't a stranger. He isn't a paparazzi or a stalker. He is the man who stood in Will Smith's shadow for 40 years. His name is Bilaal Salaam, known to the inner circle as Brother Bilaal. And he claims that the woman we know as a Hollywood icon looked him in the eye and told him he would catch a bullet if he didn't keep his mouth shut. Today, we are stripping away the PR spin. We are ignoring the carefully crafted Instagram posts. We are diving deep into the court documents that expose the brutal collapse of the Smith empire. This is the story of the best friend, the betrayal, the secret that destroyed everything, and the lawsuit that could finally end the reign of Will and Jada. This is the end of the script. To understand the magnitude of this betrayal, you have to understand the history. In Hollywood, relationships are usually transactional. Agents, managers, publicists, they come and go with the seasons. But Bilaal Salaam was different. He wasn't on the payroll just to hold an umbrella. He was family. For nearly 4 decades, Bilaal was Will Smith's shadow. He was there before the Fresh Prince took over Bel-Air. He was there when Will became the biggest movie star on the planet. He traveled the world with them, lived in their homes, and guarded their deepest secrets. Will Smith even featured photos of Bilaal in his own memoir, cementing him as a brother, not just an employee. That is what makes this lawsuit so terrifying for the Smith camp. This isn't an outsider throwing rocks at the castle walls. This is the guy who has the keys to the dungeon. Bilaal knows where the bodies are buried because, metaphorically speaking, he helped dig the holes. When a man with 40 years of clearance decides to go nuclear, he doesn't just damage your reputation, he has the power to dismantle your entire life. And according to Bilaal, Jada Pinkett Smith knew this. She knew exactly what he knew. And that fear, the fear of exposure, is what allegedly turned a friendship into a crime scene. The inciting incident didn't happen in a dark alley. It didn't happen in a shady back room. It allegedly happened in one of the most affluent, secure locations in California, the Regency Calabasas Commons. The date was September 25th, 2021. It was supposed to be a day of celebration, Will Smith's 53rd birthday. Imagine the setting. Luxury cars out front, paparazzi kept at a distance, the air filled with that expensive Calabasas silence. Bilaal arrives, likely expecting to toast his old friend. But according to the lawsuit he just filed, the welcome he received was something out of a gangster film. He claims he wasn't greeted by party planners. He was ambushed. The court documents describe a scene that chills the blood. Bilaal alleges that Jada Pinkett Smith marched up to him in the hotel lobby. But she wasn't alone. She was flanked by a crew. The lawsuit specifies she was accompanied by, quote, approximately 7 members of her entourage. Pause for a second. 7 people. This is a 54-year-old actress allegedly rolling up on a family friend with a squad of 7 people to back her up. This wasn't a conversation. It was a containment strategy. They circled him. The atmosphere shifted from a birthday celebration to a shakedown in seconds. And then, the words were spoken. The words that are now at the center of a $3 million legal battle. According to Bilaal's sworn complaint, Jada didn't mince words. She didn't ask him politely to sign a form. She allegedly became verbally aggressive, getting in his face with the weight of her entourage behind her. The lawsuit claims she told him explicitly that if he continued telling her personal business, he would end up missing or catch a bullet. Let that sink in. End up missing. Catch a bullet. These are not the words of a frantic housewife. These are the words of a mob boss. This is a threat of execution. For a man who had dedicated his life to protecting this family, hearing a death threat from the wife of his best friend must have been a psychological break. But she wasn't done. While the threat of violence hung in the air, the true motive was revealed. She demanded he sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, right there in the lobby. Sign this or else. It was a classic coercion tactic, the threat of physical harm used to secure legal silence. Bilaal refused. And you have to respect the courage that takes. Standing in a circle of 7 hostile people, with a Hollywood powerhouse threatening your life and saying no. When he tried to leave, the nightmare didn't end. He claims her team, her soldiers, followed him out of the lobby. They trailed him all the way to his car, continuing to hurl verbal threats, ensuring he knew that his safety wasn't guaranteed even after he left the property. As he drove away from the Regency that night, the 40-year friendship was dead. But the war had just begun. But why? That is the question you should be asking. Why would Jada Pinkett Smith, a woman obsessed with her public image of healing and kindness, allegedly resort to thug tactics in a hotel lobby? What personal business was she so terrified Bilaal would spill? Bilaal wasn't threatening to leak a sex tape of Jada. He wasn't threatening to expose financial fraud. He was talking about Will. This is where the story enters the territory that the Smiths have spent millions of dollars trying to police. For years, there have been whispers in Hollywood. Rumors about the true nature of Will and Jada's marriage. Rumors about Will's sexuality. Rumors that the perfect couple was actually a cover for a completely different lifestyle. Bilaal claims he had been talking about what he saw. And what he saw, according to his later interviews, was shocking. He alleges that years prior he walked into a dressing room and witnessed Will Smith engaged in an intimate sexual act with another man. And not just any man. Duane Martin, another famous actor and Will's longtime friend. We aren't here to verify what happened in that room, but we are here to analyze the reaction. To Jada, this wasn't just gossip. This was the nuclear codes. If Bilaal went public with an eyewitness account of Will Smith with another man, the brand is over. The Fresh Prince image is complicated. The box office appeal is threatened. The carefully constructed narrative of their marriage falls apart. The lobby confrontation in 2021 was a preemptive strike. Jada allegedly knew Bilaal was talking. She knew he was loose, and she knew that an NDA was the only chain strong enough to hold him back. When he refused to sign, she knew a bomb was ticking. And in 2023, that bomb finally exploded. Bilaal sat down with Tasha K, the infamous YouTuber who takes no prisoners. He didn't use coded language. He didn't speak in riddles. He laid it all out. He told the world about walking in on Will and Duane. He described the scene in graphic detail. The interview went viral instantly. It broke the internet. It was trending on Twitter for days. For the Smiths, it was the worst-case scenario coming true. The man they allegedly threatened to make missing had just handed their biggest secret to millions of people. But watch how the Smiths responded. This is a masterclass in gaslighting and media manipulation. Jada went on The Breakfast Club. She didn't look rattled. She looked amused. She laughed. She called the allegations ridiculous and nonsense. She framed Bilaal not as a betrayed friend, but as a desperate, broke ex-employee trying to shake down a wealthy family for money. She said, "We gon' take legal action." It was a performance. She was playing to the audience, using her charisma to discredit him. She painted him as a villain, a liar, a traitor. And because she is Jada Pinkett Smith, and he is just brother Bilaal, a lot of people believed her. But here is the catch. Here is the detail that reveals the truth. She threatened to sue him for defamation back then. She said it on live radio. "We are suing." But she never did. Why? If a man lies about your husband sleeping with another man, you sue him for defamation immediately, right? You drag him to court and prove he's a liar. Unless you can't. Legal experts have pointed this out for years. If the Smiths sued Bilaal for defamation, it would open the door to discovery. Bilaal's lawyers could demand emails, texts, and depositions. They could put Will Smith on the stand under oath and ask, "Did you or did you not have relations with Duane Martin?" Jada knew that. She knew a defamation suit was a trap she couldn't walk into. So she threatened it to the public to save face, but never filed the paperwork. She won the court of public opinion, but she forfeited the court of law. Until now. Because now, she isn't the plaintiff. She's the defendant. The timeline of this lawsuit reveals something else, something that ties this entire mess to the most shocking moment in TV history, the Oscars slap. The lobby threats happened in September 2021. The Oscars slap happened in March 2022. That is 6 months later. Bilaal's lawsuit claims that in the chaotic aftermath of Will slapping Chris Rock, the Smith camp reached out to him again. They were drowning in bad press. Will was being cancelled, the academy was banning him, the nice guy mask had slipped, and the world saw the rage underneath. They needed help. They needed their fixer. Bilaal alleges that a mutual friend contacted him, asking him to assist with crisis management. They wanted the old team back together. They needed Bilaal to help spin the narrative, to protect Will, to do whatever was necessary to save the brand. But Bilaal said no. According to the court documents, he refused, because the specific tasks they wanted him to perform were illegal, unethical, and morally compromising. Pause. What were they asking him to do? Bilaal doesn't specify in the complaint, but the implication is terrifying. Were they asking him to plant fake stories? Were they asking him to intimidate witnesses? Were they asking him to move money? Whatever it was dark enough that a man who had been with them for 40 years drew a line in the sand. He said, "My conscience will not allow me to be involved in any cover-up." That refusal was the final nail in his coffin. According to Bilaal, once he said no to the cleanup job, the retaliation shifted from threats to action. He claims the Smiths launched a, quote, retaliatory campaign against him. This is how Hollywood destroys you without touching you. They didn't have to shoot him. They just had to starve him. Bilaal alleges that he was blacklisted. Doors that were once open were slammed shut. Business opportunities vanished. He was painted as unstable, untrustworthy, a pariah. Jada's public comments about him being a shakedown artist were the weapon. By destroying his credibility globally, she ensured that no one would hire him, and more importantly, no one would believe him if he tried to write his book. And there was a book, a whistleblower memoir. Bilaal was writing down his life story, and that book was the sword hanging over the Smiths' heads. The lawsuit claims that the threats intensified every time news of the book leaked. They were trying to scare him into silence, trying to bankrupt him into submission, trying to break him psychologically so that the book would never see the light of day. And it worked. For a while, Bilaal claims that the stress of this campaign destroyed his body. He isn't just suing for hurt feelings, he is suing for physical damages. In the lawsuit, he lists a horrifying decline in his health. He says the constant fear, the looking over his shoulder, the stress of being hunted by billionaires led to the sudden onset of high blood pressure. He developed type 2 diabetes. He gained over 100 pounds rapidly. He describes suffering from severe PTSD. This is the reality of emotional distress. It's not just being sad, it's your body shutting down because your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode for 3 years straight. He claims Jada Pinkett Smith did this to him. Not with a gun, but with power. So, where do we stand today? This lawsuit is a game changer. It is a $3 million line in the sand. By filing this, Bilaal is challenging Jada to a game of chicken. He is saying, "I am not afraid of you anymore." If this case goes to trial, it will be the trial of the century. Jada will be deposed. Will could be subpoenaed. Duane Martin could be called to the stand. Every secret, every threat, every text message sent during the Oscars crisis, it could all become public record. The Smiths have a choice. They can settle. They can pay Bilaal the $3 million, or likely much more, to make this go away. They can buy an NDA now, 4 years too late. But settling looks like an admission of guilt. If they pay him, the world will assume everything he said about the threats, and about Will and Duane, is true. Or they can fight. They can drag this out in court. They can try to destroy Bilaal's character on the witness stand. But in doing so, they risk the one thing they have fought so hard to protect, their privacy. Bilaal Salaam was the keeper of the secrets. Now he is the narrator of their downfall. He was told he would catch a bullet. Instead, he caught a lawyer. And as this case moves forward, we're going to find out if the Fresh Prince's empire is made of solid gold, or if it was just a house of cards waiting for a strong wind to blow it down. The script has been flipped. The movie is real. And this time, there are no directors to yell "cut."